Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Dragon Warrior 1 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Last episode, Chicken managed to reach the town of Rimuldar in the south, and he purchased a bunch of keys there. Now that he has keys in his inventory, he can start exploring behind a bunch of locked doors. He did so in Brecconary, the town near Tantegel Castle. Now it's time for him to actually start exploring inside Tantegel Castle. There's a few locked doors here, and hopefully he can find those stones of sunlight, which he was told were somewhere in the castle. Never does a brave person steal. Yeah, there's 4 treasure chests in here, but it's pointless to go in here, because all the gold that you'll get from these 4 treasure chests, they don't even add up enough to buy a key. So, it's kind of pointless to do this. There is one reason why you can do this. If you're doing like a speed run, there's a glitch, and I'll explain that glitch a little bit later, that speedrunners use to get just a bunch of money to help them grind a little bit easier. So, let's check out what's behind this door. A bunch of people and a shop. I am looking for the castle cellar. I've heard it's not easily found. Let us wish the warrior well. May the light be thy strength. Well, thank you. If thy hit points are high enough, by all means enter. Yeah, we got this dangerous barrier here. Every time you step on it, you lose 15 hit points. So, swamps, you lose 2 hit points. Those barriers, you lose 15. In Garinham, look for the grave of Garin. Thou must push on a wall of darkness there. So we're going to have to heal ourselves up here with the heal spell. Eventually, we will find an armor that allows us to avoid all damaged tiles, but that's the end game armor, so we won't get that for a while. I am looking for the castle cellar. Okay, we already talked with him. Now let's talk with this guy here. Magic keys! You know, this is the second place we can buy magic keys, but you have to have a magic key to get there, so I don't know how much business he does. When the sun and rainbow meet, a rainbow bridge shall appear. It's a legend. So in order to get to the castle cellar, we have to hug the wall here, go down to where this little piece of water is, then stay hug the water. You can only stay 1 tile. If you go 1 tile more to the right, you will exit the castle and have to reopen those doors. I have been waiting long for one such as thee. Take the treasure chest. Alright, let's go back there, grab the treasure chest. And what do we got? We found the stones of sunlight. Well, no, those are for a little bit later. Thou hast no business here, go away. That guy's not very nice. After he gives us this treasure, he just gets really mean. So, of course, we're going to heal ourselves up here. And then we can go back and talk with that man and refill our magic points. We got some wandering around to do. So, we were told also in Rimuldar that from Howard. Howard is named after Howard Phillips, the president of Nintendo Fan Club. I talked about him in an earlier episode about with Howard and Nestor. So he was the one who apparently had the fairy flute, and then he hid it in coal. And he told us where he hid it. So we're going to be heading back to coal. There's also a locked door there in coal that we couldn't get behind because he had no keys. But we're going to go back into there. So I'm going to show you what the fairy water does here. You sprinkle the fairy water on you. We're going to get a spell at level 15 that does the same thing as fairy water. What fairy water does is if an enemy has strength lower than your defense, which means it basically can't do any damage to you, it'll run away from you. So enemies that basically can't do any damage to you, that would flee from you, will be prevented from attacking you as long as you have the fairy water on you. The fairy water lasts, I looked up how many steps it lasts. The fairy water lasts for 128 steps. So we took those 128 steps, now enemies are going to start attacking us again. So fairy water doesn't work in dungeons though. It only works outside on the overworld. So I know we're saying something like maybe 120 and 80, but I actually looked it up, like I said, it's 128. I guess the 80 comes from when you use the Radiance spell. For the first time you cast it, you have a radius of 3 around you. You have 80 steps on that, and then it shrinks down to 2, and that works for 60 more steps, and then finally you get a radius of 1, which is basically like a torch, for another 60 steps, and then you have to recast. So we ended up buying some more armor there. We ended up buying the half-plate armor. The half-plate armor, whatchamacallit, gives us another +6 to our defense, so... We got the fairy flute there. We know that that apparently puts golems to sleep, so if we ever encounter a golem, we know how to fight them. Hast thou found the flute? No, Howard had it, but he went to Rimuldar and never returned. Well, we just basically, like, lied to that guy, but I only did that just so we can see his dialogue. Go to the Count of Cantlin. So... Cantlin is, like I said, the final town, so it's a long way away, though, so... We won't be going there anytime soon. We won't be able to make it there right now. The enemies are too powerful. So we're just gonna buy two sets of the Wings of the Wyvern. That'll be for our upcoming grinding area. So wings don't stack, unlike the herbs and magic keys. We're gonna have to buy some more magic keys then. So we're down to our last one. And let's just blow the fairy's flute. See what it does. It plays like a little melody, but outside of battle, nothing, so... There is one golem in the game, so... We will eventually have to fight that, and we know what to do with that one, but when we do fight that one, so... Now it's time for us to head back down to Rimuldar, buy some more keys, and that's when we're going to be doing some grinding around there, so... We kind of know where we need to go. Two places we were told to go, basically. We were told to head south of Rimuldar. There is a temple there. And then the second place you want to go to is the grave in Garinham. Apparently that's where the silver harp is. And we know that guy to the west of Cole is looking for the silver harp. He gave us that little quest. So, let's head into the swamp cave here. Now the swamp cave, you're going to be going through it a bunch of times. In order to save on magic points for using Radiant or the Torch, there's actually a way you can get through the Swamp Cave without using either of those two options. Basically, when you're walking, you hear like a bumping if you bump into a wall. So the way the Swamp Cave works is if you just head straight south from the entrance and keep going down until you start bumping into the wall, you hear the like thump 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 sound. Then you just go right one. You'll bump into another wall, then you head down again, bump into another wall, then go right until you bump into another wall, then down, bump into another wall, and then left, and you'll be at the exit to the swamp cave. So, yeah, you can just basically find your way through this cave by bumping into the walls. So, saves you torch and radiant spells. So... Now, there's that one glitch I was telling you about. I said I'd talk about it now. I got some time. Because basically, for the rest of this episode, I'm just going to be hunting down a few different monsters. Just to fill up some time here. There's a few different monster zones around here. The one by right here, we have Magidrake, scorpions, skeletons, warlocks, and wolves. Wolf is the new monster that we want to encounter. But we can also encounter the wolf with a little bit more... frequency, 40% frequency rather than 20% frequency here. If we just head south a little bit around Rimuldar. We want to head a little bit further south than Rimuldar because there's two more enemy domains there. We don't want to head to the furthest south one. There's a bridge that we can cross to get to that one because we were told that really tough monsters are there. We want to head just a little bit to the east of that bridge because there's some new monsters there that we want to encounter. So we got two zones that we're going to want to encounter. Right around Rimuldar, which we're kind of around right now. We get skeletons, warlocks, metal scorpions all at 20%, and wolves at 40%. And then, like I said, a little further south of here, we get metal scorpions, which we're fighting right here now. And then we have three new enemies. The Wolf Lord, which is the upgraded wolf, 40% chance. Wraiths, an upgraded skeleton, 20%. And Goldmen that are 20%, so... speaking of gold, goldmen give a lot of gold, but they give really terrible experience. So that one glitch that speedrunners use is basically if you go into the mountain cave, the way the treasure chests load, you open all the treasure chests in the mountain cave, and then you be defeated in the mountain cave, and you respawn in Tantegel Castle. And in Tantegel Castle, then you head down to that room where all those treasure chests are. And the game can only, like, I think load 8 treasure chests at a time. So when you open one of those treasure chests in that room, it never disappears. So you just keep opening the chest over and over and over and over again. That way you can get a lot of gold. I don't want to say really, really quick, but you get a bunch of gold without fighting, so that when you do have to go fight, you can buy better equipment and are able to just defeat enemies quicker because you have better equipment. So it's the way the speedrun makes the grinding a little bit easier. So, and that's basically what we'll be doing down here is grinding. So we fought Wraith there, which is the upgraded skeleton. You might notice I cast Stop Spell, which is our new spell, against the Wraith. That's because the Wraith, it has, if its hit points are less than 1/4 of its max hit points, it has a 25% chance to cast Heal. Now we can't really do a lot of damage to the Wraith, so right now, we're still kind of weak. Maybe in a level or two we won't have to do this anymore. But you want to cast Stop Spell on them, because otherwise what they'll keep doing is they'll keep healing themselves. There's a chance they keep healing themselves, and you'll just get stuck in a loop where you won't be able to defeat them. They'll be healing themselves. So enemies can also use Stop Spell against you to prevent you from healing yourself too, which is what the Wolf Lord does. The Wolf Lord has a 50% chance to cast the Stop Spell on us. So actually the Wolf Lords can actually be kind of easier than the wolves that we're going to encounter. We could have encountered them to the north there, because the wolves just straight up attack, where Wolf Lords will, half the time they will cast Stop Spell until they stop your spells. So sometimes you might get into an easy battle with a Wolf Lord where you just run into it and it casts Stop Spell, the Stop Spell doesn't work, and then you just keep casting and casting and get a bunch of, free turns against them. So yeah, a lot of enemies now are going to start using spells. So we have the Wraiths that, like I said, can heal themselves, and Wolf Lords that try to cast Stop Spell to prevent you from healing yourself. So that Stop Spell is also pretty useful. We're going to be grinding right here against, because this domain has Warlocks in it, and those Warlocks, remember, they can cast the Sleep Spell and the Hurt Spell on you. So pretty good enemy to use Stop Spell on against. So yeah, this is the place we're basically going to be grinding. We're going to be grinding right outside Rimuldar here. Once again, we're going to want to be grinding on the desert little bridge here, because the deserts have the highest encounter rate. So it's more likely we get into attacks, into random battles, I mean, to fight monsters and gain some gold. We want to start gaining a bunch of gold. Our next big purchase, there's 2 pieces of armor that we can get in Rimuldar. Both of them have a defensive power of 24, the full plate and the magic. Full plate costs 3,000, magic costs 7,700. Well, you might be thinking, well, if they both give 24 defense, why is one, 4,700 more gold than the other? Well, the magic armor has 2 interesting properties. The first one is that every 4 steps you take, whether it's in town or in a dungeon or outside on the overworld, you'll gain 1 hit point back. And the second property the magic armor has is it reduces the amount of damage you take by hurt spells. There's 2 hurt spells. There's hurt spell and then there's the hurt more spell by 1/3. So it's pretty good against spells on that sense. And like I said, it can help you recover hit points. So like I said, we'll end up buying that. But for right now, the grind is we're just going to be grinding to get that 3,000 gold so we can buy the full plate armor. And also want to purchase enough keys. Basically now, we want to always be trying to carry around 6 keys, which is the max amount of keys that we can carry around. And of course, Rimuldar is the easiest place, or the cheapest place that you can buy keys. So, let's go on. Talk to the guy. I'll show you the 2 pieces of armor here. Like I said, the full plate is going to cost us 3,000, and then the magic armor is going to cost us 7,700. So, I'll basically be just doing some grinding. I'll probably end up buying the full plate off screen, because we want to get to around like level 12, and the full plate will basically help us grind that level 12. So once we're at level 12, we're pretty much strong enough to head down to the south to that magic temple that we were told about, and from there, then we can also head back to Garinham to finally go into that tomb. So this will all end the episode here. We'll do some grind out here. See you next episode. Bye.